Okay, well, if we've got everybody, and I'll let me know when you guys are ready to start.
I'm all set.
Ready?
Ready.
Awesome. So, who wants to talk about what happened last game?
We killed a mind flayer.
That's true.
Was that all
Yep.
last game? I guess it was.
Yeah. Yep. We theorized about what to do and ran away. Came back to the school to have a little chat. Um, found out some pretty disturbing things about how the great old ones are rising, and the mind flayer was sent to prepare the way. And is very disappointed in Grimm's friends, and also kind of disappointed in Grimm, and also now dead. Good job, Corinne. At which point the children rioted, as one does when released from Mind Flayer control, I suppose. Also, we found out that the professors aren't really professors. They're a Luskan couple um, who were sailors, but their ship ran into some trouble, and then they wound up at the school, teaching modern Davian history. So that means that they're adopting about 30 kids. We also went to back to the Feral Theater Kid Camp in order to get those kids back onto school grounds, since it's getting cold out and it snowed for the first time in Eliana's life. And also cleared the baby mind flayers out from the basement. Being thorough is important and all of that. And what else? Oh, Karis is coming. With her kiddos from Waterdeep to take this place over. Anything else?
Apparently she's going to be able to get there really fast, which I don't remember if we all found that confusing or if Grimm found that confusing and talked themselves through it. I know I know they went back and forth on it and eventually decided she must have some way, because she's supposed to be here in the morning. There was some angst over who was going to stay where. Eliana ended up going back to the tent, the horse tent. And I believe was there by herself by herself meaning with the horses and with Quiche and with the unknown servant. Not unknown, unseen. That would be the U word that servant starts with. And everyone else crashed at the school.
And also, Bosun was given orders to go back and forth.
Right. Bosun is supposed to, I believe it was check on Eliana. Let me double check the exact instructions, because it's Bosun and that matters, doesn't it? Where exactly in there is that? There was also some various conversations overnight, but I'm sure nothing got said that was important.
The word love definitely wasn't mentioned. Who are you talking
Definitely
about?
not.
No.
Corinne.
Wait, no. Nothing happened.
No, absolutely
They were
not.
just sleeping. Just sleeping, that's all.
I can't find it. Yeah, I guess oh, there it is. Bosun's instructions: go check on the tent every hour or so. Try not to disturb Eliana. So that's probably fine. I think that's it. Every pillow in both dormitory linen closets has been claimed either by children or by Grimm on behalf of Corinne. from. Presumably Bones would also have been able to grab from the originally found pillow stash if she so chose.
Yes. Bones is indifferent about pillows.
Guessing she probably found a nice rafter to lay on.
Yep. Is a high
Yeah.
windowsill.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
And the Mind Flayer's body is in the bag of holding. And now
Okay.
that
Yep.
really is everything I have. It's fine. I think that's true, right? Wait, Eliana didn't actually she didn't take it back out, did she?
That's still in the bag of holding.
Perfect.
Dead mind flayer in the bag of holding. Fantastic. Alright, so what time are you guys waking up in the morning?
Probably on the early side.
Yeah, I feel like the sleeping arrangements are adequate, but not like I mean, Eliana's probably in a better shape than the rest of us, but the rest of us are on cots in classrooms. So I don't know how determined Corinne is to sleep in, but
She's not gonna sleep in that hard. Like,
yeah.
it's after sunrise for sure, but like before her ideal waking time.
Yeah,
So like
I think
8 a.m.
I think the kids are pretty much all on their work day wake up times.
Makes sense. Alright, wonderful. You guys get up slowly but surely. You smell food coming. Well, everyone but Eliana smells food coming from downstairs.
Corinne's gonna go investigate.
Grim just groans, but follows along behind.
I was gonna ask
rumbling.
if Grim was still like in the room or if they had left already. Feeling the threat of breakfast upon them.
We know Grim got up and got coffee, and then came back. And I think on this morning of all mornings, Grim was not bolting off to handle breakfast.
Extremely fair.
So they're now trailing behind Corinne, kind of grumbling under their breath about it. But they realized they realized they had their chance and did not take it, and did not actually regret this.
Delightful. So, yep, heading towards the kitchen.
Makes sense. Platters of pancakes are out on the table. And some kids are awake and sitting at tables, like bleary-eyed. But there's pancakes. And like some jars of preserves on the table that have been located and found. It looks like pancakes is the breakfast of the morning.
Corinne will go find a plate, and will serve herself a stack of like 3 pancakes. Ignores any syrup, in favor of preserves.
Grim, I think, is just gonna snag a pancake off the top of the pile. Now thinking about it, is gonna roll it up like a burrito, having learned this from Glindra, and is going to sample it very dubiously.
It's a really good pancake. Like, it's not too sweet, which might annoy you a little bit, but it's definitely like a good, like, it's not doughy in the middle or anything like that either.
They make a resentful, approving noise. Take another bite, and are going to double check how far away they can talk to Bosun. I think it's 1,000 feet. We know Bosun was back for coffee, to sample coffee, but didn't. But has probably at some point may have wandered off again. 100 feet. So Grim's going to try to reach out telepathically as Bosun was at 100 feet.
Yeah. He is. Is he invisible at the moment?
Probably.
Yeah, okay, so you see a pancake that is being gobbled by something invisible, No one seemed to really clock until you looked and you were like, "Where's Bosun?" Oh, that pancake is disappearing by itself.
Does it have, important question, does it have any preserves or anything on it, or is it just, is Bosun just eating a plain pancake?
He seems like he's just eating a plain pancake.
Grim will sort of telepathically reach out to him. Well, how did it go with the tent?
You get a image of, like, various images of Lenya sleeping through the night, so. Seems like he's reporting back that everything went fine.
That's remarkably unchaotic for you. Well done.
I mean, it's definitely like, this is the security photo that was taken at 9 p.m. This is the security photo that was taken at 10. This is a security photo that was taken at 1 in the morning. This is the security photo that was taken at 11 p.m. 2 hours before that. So
So no, who knows what he was doing in between? That checks out. But he did what Grim asked. Very good. Would you like preserves on your pancake? Still the Bosun.
yeah, you see the pancake bob over to you.
Grim will smear some. Probably if there's like a marmalade situation, I think they'll start there. If not, they'll grab whatever's closest. And then we'll. So it's kids in this. It's the kids in this room. Any particular like younger kids, older kids, anyone particular, or just kind of a random sampling of sleepyheads.
It's kind of a random sampling of sleepyheads at this point. No one specific that you've kind of had your eye on. It looks like most of the specific people are taking the moment to sleep in, someplace warm.
And is Corinne sit? She found a place to sit down. Did I
She's
hear that
going
correctly?
into the kitchen with her
Oh,
plate.
okay.
Yeah.
Then
she's not sitting among the youths.
The youths. All right. Then Grim will, having finished conversing with Bosun, will trail after her into the kitchen, but it's probably a minute or two behind.
Corinne heads in the kitchen just to see, who's in there, what's going on, checking in. I'm assuming they're adults here.
Yeah, it looks like I believe it was Ola. The teacher is Ola, and she's the one behind the it's a hot griddle that's been put out, and it's and there's a huge bowl of batter next to her, and she's just ladling pancakes out. Good morning.
Good morning. You certainly have an efficient operation going on here.
I'm used to feeding a huge crew and some dark workers if I need to bribe people, so used to it.
Well done. So far, it's quite successful.
As long as everyone's fed.
Indeed. How was your overnight?
A bit strange to be sleeping on land, but I'll get used to it.
Extremely fair. No strange noises or weird things poking into your brain.
No. I mean, there were strange noises from the children, but I broke up most of that.
Very good. Takes another bite of pancake.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of supplies, and I wanted to make a big bulk meal, so pancakes were it. I couldn't make anything more interesting.
No, this is heaps more interesting than apparently what was just a bland oatmeal.
Yeah, I don't like oatmeal. I mean, it's popular in Luskin, and like buckwheat porridge and such, but I don't particularly care for it. It's a texture thing. It's mushy.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. It has to be the right consistency. It's just, if it's too thin, it's just it's completely unpleasant. It's not an enjoyable experience, and eating should be enjoyable.
It's like a lumpy soup, and not in a good way. Yeah, it's awful.
No.
I don't like it.
Absolutely not. Atrocious to call it a meal.
Mm. But they are pancakes, and I rated their preserves. So and your friend came.
Which one?
This is probably about the time that Brim drifts into the kitchen and leans against a wall with their pancake burrito.
The elven one who can walk through trees. She came.
You can walk through trees.
I believe that's... You haven't met that one. I don't know that you can walk through trees, but that would explain the intent to be here this morning. Is she still here?
Yes, she said she wanted to get a view of everything and was going to go for a walk in the woods around us to make sure that everything was okay.
Did you warn her? Did you know to warn her, or did we not tell you what to warn her of yet?
I don't think I warned her about anything specific. I said, watch out, we're in the woods, and she said, okay, I can turn into a giant fuck-off wolf, so...
I have heard this. All right. Glances at Corinne. And actually, I think then remembers that they can cast Sending and just does to Karis. We're up now. If you would like to talk about any of this.
I will head back.
Fabulous. Grim does not respond because that would take responsibility. And just will say, she'll be back she'll be here shortly. Returns to eating their pancake.
Do you put anything in that one? Or is it just straight pancake, pointing at the wrapped up pancake in their hand?
They sort of hold it up and sort of tilt the remaining. It's probably half a pancake left, back and forth, sort of looking at it. I was testing it first to see if it was good, and then I just kept eating it, so no, straight pancake.
What is your assessment of its quality?
Moderate to severe side eye. Acceptable.
Corinne is definitely looking just a hint of looking pretty pleased with herself.
It's not my kitchen.
No, it certainly isn't.
Several times over now. And we'll sort of salute Ola with the pancake and then resume eating the second half of it.
Yeah, she waves to you. If you don't like pancakes, I can make lots, because I think there's some potatoes.
Ooh, latkes. And Corinne once again looks at Grim. It's I don't think I've ever had a latke before. Still with that expression of looking pretty smug.
Let me find out how good or not a job they're doing at pretending they're not to notice her. Nat 20. So 29 deception. They don't seem to even so much as hear what Corinne said. They'll just to Ola. Is that a Luskan dish?
It's popular with some Luskans, yes.
Don't believe we've had it.
Obviously wouldn't want to put you out. You've already got the pancakes, delicious, perfectly serviceable.
Maybe for lunch then.
Lunch sounds delightful.
I don't know if we'll still be here for lunch. Kind of glancing at Corinne. We'll have to talk with Eleni when she wakes, and with Karis.
If not, I will write down the recipe and you can try it at your kitchen.
Thank you.
Eliana, this is probably about. Were you heading back fairly early, or?
Yeah, I think she gets up and then doesn't really linger after waking, just heads back to the school.
Okay. Are you taking down the tent?
Um, yeah, I think she does.
Okay. Get the horses all prepped and kind of lead them back to the school.
Mhm.
They're easy enough to get along with.
Is
Bribable.
how does the unknown servant help? Is it sort of weighted to be allowed to help?
At least to get the horses ready, yes.
Unseen servant.
once the tent is down, then the unseen servant is no more.
Yeah, so she heads back with the four horses and their gear, and finds a reasonable place for them to be settled before heading on. Actually, I think she resets the tent much closer to the school now,
Okay.
so that the horses can get there.
Yep, easy enough.
And then we'll head on in for breakfast.
Yep. The whole place smells like pancakes, at least the first floor, anyway.
Heads on into the kitchen. This smells delicious.
Thank you.
I think to get to the kitchen, you have to go through the dining hall, right? So
Yeah.
you
Yep.
run into Grim and Quinn on the way.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Morning.
Morning. I
Morning.
trust you slept all right out in the stable.
I did.
Tent, barn. I'm not really exactly sure what we call it, but the portable thing.
I did. I hope you did too up in the classrooms.
It was all right, as far as sleeping arrangements go. Wasn't the worst, but certainly not the best I've ever experienced. But there was an abundance of pillows, which helped.
I was going to ask whether it could have used more pillows, but it sounds like that was one of the selling points.
Well, everything can always use more pillows. But this was sufficient.
Very good. I'll go get some pancakes. I do have a question for Ola. And then it looks like the kids are about as well behaved as they should be.
Oh, you mean actually like normal children?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, it sounds as though everything went smoothly overnight.
Sorry.
Ola didn't report anything unusual other than just, sometimes, fighting noises or other noises made by the children themselves.
Yeah. Not rioting, not having their minds controlled either. Do we need to sweep the dorm buildings for anything else that might be there, or is that something that you already did thoroughly when sweeping for pillows?
We didn't, but I don't know if I suppose it wouldn't hurt. We could do that this morning.
Right. I'll eat first. Ask Ola my question, and I think it would be a good idea to let Say know what we've found and did here.
That's not a bad idea at all. I did already reach out to the sort of points in the vague direction of the woods, which is all around, so it's probably not helpful. Would prefer to get that to not bot about the spells until well, to not do that.
Yeah, up to you.
But
How you do
later?
that? Yeah. Yeah.
And Heather, can I confirm
Mhm.
the fundraiser is, by my recollection, is probably tonight?
Probably, yeah.
Is that is that
Tonight.
correct? Okay. And it's most of a day's ride back to Waterdeep?
Yeah, I think it's actually a little bit longer. But
Okay.
it looks like Karis might have some sort of fast travel.
Yeah. Excellent. Um, then Grim will add, sweeping the dorms seems like a good idea before we leave them. If we want to be back for the fundraiser, let alone to do any investigating before the fundraiser, then I think we will not want to linger long. Sweep the
Agreed.
dorms, talk to and points to the kitchen, and then talk to the new teacher, I suppose, and then be off. And their
Sounds
expression
good.
here is questioning, like they're it's definitely like a did I miss anything? Is there anything else that anyone wanted to do here?
That all sounds right to me.
Very curious to see if the fundraiser proceeds, given recent events.
As am I.
Me too.
That will be information of its own. Either way.
All right. I'm going to get a plate of one of those pancakes, and Eliana heads into the kitchen.
Sure. As Eliana heads into the kitchen, Bones enters the dining room. Waves to you all.
Morning. Pancakes are good. If you're into that sort of thing, I suppose.
Grim gives her the tiniest nod of acknowledgement, which is still a significantly more acknowledgement than previous mornings.
Bones just looks and goes, no, I'm good on that. I had rations at least, so.
I was just about to offer you the, and then we'll drop into Awakened Mind, Headmaster. That's all I could think of.
Bones looks a little horrified.
That's a 14 performance. Grim is trying is like face is straight enough to fool most people, but anyone with a decent passive with a better than average passive insight could tell that they were not serious about that.
Yeah, Bones' passive insight is disgusting, and she just.
I thought it might be.
Yeah, she just grins at you and shakes her head. You almost had me with that one. I think Reg would have a stroke if I ate a mind flayer, though. We should tell Reg
might
I
be
ate a
worth
mind
it.
flayer.
I do not wish to meet your friend. It's not personal. Corinne can tell him. Like, elbows Corinne gently.
I actually want to talk to you about that. I have a teleportation scroll.
Oh dear. I don't suppose is the teleportation. Oh, sorry. Wow.
Shush.
Starting over. Teleportation scroll to see him.
I mean, it's to his tower. It's not even like a full teleportation scroll. It's just like an instant, I need to go back home immediately scroll.
Ah. Suppose it's never a bad thing to have an emergency exit plan.
Yeah, after I fought with like a demon and came home like barely able to move because it sapped all of my strength, he got real picky about making sure I had an exit plan.
Oh. I could see that. Looking kind of like, oh, that encounter sounds upsetting.
Don't worry, he probably will. I mean, he won't hide from new people, but he's not great at people.
Could
No,
he
I don't
hide
think-
from new people? Could that be arranged?
Maybe.
I don't think it's necessary to arrange a meeting anytime soon. If that, and turns to Grim, if that makes you feel any better.
It's just it would be. I suppose it would not be the done thing to ignore him in his own house.
Shush.
I should say that's quite rude. I would not recommend it.
So I will, and the rest of you will not. Takes another bite of pancake.
Bones looks confused at this entire conversation. Like, she hasn't gotten quite enough sleep to parse all of the layers to this conversation. And
Extremely fair.
instead just kind of leans back and just chomps on a piece of jerky.
Atta girl.
Extremely reasonable response.
So is you said there's a new teacher coming or something like that? To Grim.
I was trying to remember her name. The one who can be a wolf mouse's friend. Not a teacher exactly. Points at Bones. You know.
Karis, yeah.
Grim nods. That one. So she's out walking in the woods, but said she'd return. I thought we should warn her about what we found here and what Say's company didn't find yet, but encountered before we leave her with it.
Should we search the dormitories before we meet up so we have a full report for her?
I think so. Once Elenia returns, or how itchy is Corinne looking to do something?
Oh, Corinne, always.
Or we could get a head start.
Very good. I will take what was formerly the girls' dormitory. I don't think anyone actually cares at this point, but for the sake of organization, and points in the direction, that one.
Grim nods. And I will tell Elenia and then trail after you.
Very good. I'll be back in a bit, and heads out to go scout out the dorms to see if there's anything else weird potentially going on.
And Grim will add the other half of their sentence, sort of for Bones' benefit, because I'm not very good at finding things unless they're pillows. And then we'll head into the kitchen to let Eliana know.
Okay.
But she would have gotten there first.
Yep, Eliana. So you head to the kitchen. Ola is ladling out pancakes. Seems like she's getting to the bottom of the bowl, but there's several large stacks of them, so.
Hola, good morning. May I serve myself? How are you running the kitchen here?
Serve yourself. There's platters going out on the tables. There's preserves. I couldn't find any syrup, but it is what it is. Jams and stuff are out there.
Preserves are excellent, thank you. And as she serves herself, I had a couple of questions about your journey, that you were on when you left Luscombe. If you don't mind talking about it.
No, I don't mind.
All right. I'm curious about where you were going and how far out from shore you were when the incident happened.
Well, I mean, we stayed pretty close to shore. Our ship is not large. We're heading down to Waterdeep. Just to do a larger run.
What did you trade on?
Oh, we're just a general shipping strip. Primarily wood and furs and whatever people want us to carry to Waterdeep to resell at merchant houses.
All right. Thank you. That helps me. Thinking about what other dangers there might be to other ships. I think we mentioned that we could potentially take you back to Waterdeep depending upon what you want when the other person, when Karis arrives. But I also know that you've adopted quite a few kids.
Yeah, so we did speak about it, with my husband last night, after, everyone went to bed. And I was mostly joking about adopting all of the kids, but our ship is destroyed. And, that's going to be, if our ship is destroyed, that's the mortgage on our house, and that's everything. So, kind of decided that if we can stay here for a while, we'll stay here for a while and help out where we can. It's a lot of kids for one person, so 3 people might be a good fit.
I think it would be, and I think there's no reason for you not to stay here.
I couldn't teach Waterdavian history, but
No, but you could teach cooking and maybe some shipping and mathematics and otherwise just,
mathematics I can do.
yeah.
Merchanting I can do. Um,
The kids will be well off, but much better off than they would have been before.
yes. So. Sorry, something weird is happening in my house.
Oh.
Giggling is good.
Yeah? Okay, so.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And I will and have a good rest of your morning.
Of course.
And Lenya departs to finish up her food.
Sure. And that's about probably when Grim comes back in.
So I think Grim is approaching the kitchen door just as Eliana is heading out. So they will sort of pivot and fall into step alongside her as she heads back towards the table. Corinne was getting bored, so she has gone to sweep the dorms.
Does she want help?
I didn't ask. I figured I would follow along and not notice anything. I think if you wanted, she was starting, and they point in the direction of the girls' dorm, or the former girls' dorm. I suspect if you want to help, you could, and points in the other direction. Is Bones still there, or is Bones already gone off to sweep things?
Oh, no, Bones is still there.
Okay. Poor Bones. just deserves to eat a pancake in peace. Or not a pancake, eat her jerky in peace. If you wanted to, you could, and points in the direction of the formerly boys' dorm, but you've met her.
Yes.
So I don't think you have to unless you would particularly like to. Certainly let you know if we find anything else, and Grim is just probably communicating with pointing today, and that's just how it's going to be. Points down towards the floor, meaning indicating the basement beneath.
Yeah.
We'll come tell you before doing anything rash. So you can come do something rash with us.
Very good. I'll enjoy my pancakes and do something rash with you as needed.
Grim nods and sort of gentle punches her shoulder very, very gently, and will acquire one more pancake, smear it with some of whatever the sweetest preserves available are.
So there is actually a cream cheese like frosting situation.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is the sweetest.
Yeah. Oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, they smear it with that. I don't think they've had that yet, So they like pick it at random, having decided that nothing that they recognize looks sweet enough, and roll the pan. So they smear it and then roll the pancake up like a burrito again, and take a bite. And there is a visible double take, and they head out in search of Corinne. Much brighter. They are pleased with this frosting situation.
Bones looks to Lenya or Eliana and just shakes her head. Maybe I'll get the recipe. I mean, I understand that you all eat regular food.
We do.
I mean, I understand. Alina's been trying to get me to eat a vegetable since we were very young, but sweet is lost on me.
I don't need you to eat a vegetable or sweet. Would the recipe be for French?
Yeah. I mean, we have a cook because my dietary restrictions are a little bit weird, and if someone doesn't put food in front of him while he's in the middle of research, he won't eat. And I can't really yell at him about it because I'm the same way.
Yeah. It helps to have someone be able to take care of that for you.
Yeah. He's made he's got a couple of magic items out on the market now that do well enough that we can afford niceties like that. That and his weird secretary.
What does he make?
Oh, they're these and she pulls out a long fountain pen.
The pens.
He calls them phantom scribe apparatuses, which is a terrible name. I call them telescription pens.
I might be in the market for one of those.
I will get you a pair.
Thank you. I'll pay for them whatever the price is that you normally charge.
I mean, our house is drowning in these. So I'm happy to swipe you a pair.
Thank you.
And on the agreement that you will call it a telescription pen.
A telescription pen, yes. She looks like she's trying to remember that and worries at whether she actually will.
All right. I think Corinne, you're searching the dormitory.
Yes, she is.
And you said the girls' dormitory first?
Yes, correct.
Sure. So you go into the girls' dormitory, and it's a very squat, like three story building.
Mm-hmm.
On the first story, there seem to be like public rooms. There's some bathrooms, and a couple of sitting areas and things like that. And it's, you know, when you, I don't even know how to describe it. The best analogy I can come up with is the day after a sleepover. Like, the house used to be clean, like, so you could tell that the house was clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, all chaos broke out. And
Oh yeah.
so it's not like
yeah.
it's not like grime dirty. It's just like looks
Clutter.
like a tornado went through.
Yep.
So
Yep. Like there's chairs that like a couple of chairs that have been turned into a fort. Like
Yes.
there's a blanket strewn, like over another couch or something like that.
yeah,
There's a couple of mattresses that have been upturned to form walls.
very much.
There's
so.
just like a random pile of pillows in one of the rooms. Like there's none of the beds have any pillows on them, but there's just a pile of pillows in the corner of the room. That kind of thing.
Mhm. So the first floor is a common area. And you do notice at least one couple in the common area who are like like feet sticking out of the fort, passed out. Heading upstairs, it's similar chaos. It looks like this area was split into like three like large sleeping rooms, like for various ages of children. Um, so like the younger kid room is just similar to downstairs. Actually, no, the younger kid room is probably stripped clean because most of them went to the common room to build forts and be chaos. So the room is clean and then it's stripped clean. Um, the middle kids, like I would say like your 12 to 15-year-old age range, seems to be the least chaotic. Most everyone is still sleeping. And like if when you go in there are grumbles and someone does throw a shoe at you.
Corinne dodges it, assuming it even makes it that far.
It doesn't really. It's just at you. It's not. It like lands like on the ground or like 3 feet away. Like this is a sleepy bitch's room. Like all the curtains have been blacked out. Everything is dark.
Oh, Corinne feels deeply connected to this collective. And it moves on to the next one.
Yep. So we go to the next room, which is appears to be the older girls' rooms, like I would say 15 to 19-year-olds. And you see that they are almost kind of organized. Like the room has gotten a little more interesting in that their beds are unmade, things are being hung up, like personal items have appeared out of nowhere and are happening. But at least 2 of the girls have like some sort of like braid chain happening. So like everyone's braiding a younger and smaller child's hair.
Oh.
I know this well.
Mm-hmm.
I was a camp counselor for several summers, so
Yeah.
I know this game very, very well.
Yeah, so it seems like some of the older girls are kind of doing a little bit of like, okay, let's make sure the little kids like aren't complete goblins. So, as in all things, a natural pecking order is starting to emerge.
Yeah, Corinne is not so much interested in the, like, obviously, yes, good, glad that the kids are all,
Yeah.
breathing and seem fine, generally speaking. She's also looking for, any kind of, like, room, like, doors or things that look like they're less traveled, or
Sure.
parts of the building where it's, like it's the secret trap door leading to the basement kind of thing.
Weird walls that don't seem to match up to the outside, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 16.
16? Yeah, you don't see anything immediately. You do see that there's a staircase to whatever is upstairs, like whatever the 3rd floor is.
Okay.
And you do notice that because you're kind of on the lookout for them, you do see that there were charms on the windows to keep people in, but those have all kind of dissipated.
Okay. And I will head up to the 3rd floor.
Sure. So the 3rd floor also appears to have been raided. The 3rd floor is mostly trunks and like trunks of items, people's personal luggage. As in, like, these kids came with stuff and it just immediately got shoved into the attic and ignored. Like, you do not have access to that anymore. So people have been going through stuff up here. Roll me another perception check.
Okay. It's a 22.
22. You don't see anything that strikes you as immediately out of place. It's chaotic, and is that a 9-year-old sleeping in a trunk of someone's. Don't even ask. But someone has, a young girl has definitely put on some older girl's clothes and is like asleep in a corner, but it's not nothing that strikes you as ominous or eerie or
Yeah.
beyond
Nothing
normal.
nefarious.
Yeah,
just kids being kids.
Just the chaos of we have control of this is our place now.
Yeah, Lost Boys stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Excellent. So, and I don't suppose there's a basement in this building either.
If you go down to the first floor, you can roll me another perception check or investigation to search for one.
Right. Perception is 26.
Okay. No, you find no basement, which is actually almost a little weird, but...
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Corinne feels pretty satisfied, and we'll head back to the main central building.
Sure.
Is everyone else still there?
Yeah. Everyone's sitting
Okay.
at the table.
Well, other than some mild reclamation of territory, nothing unusual going on in that dorm, at least.
All right. I was just about to come find you. And now you found us.
Indeed. Have we searched the other one?
Not yet. Didn't want to
Alright.
deprive you of it, shall we?
Let's go. Corinne is
Oh.
basically already turned around and on her way as she says. As the words leave her mouth, the movement is already happening.
Grim knows it is scurrying to trotting to fall into step.
Lenya's
But-
joining for this one.
Delightful.
Yeah, Bones as well is just kind of falling in step behind you, as if, like, she doesn't really know what to do with herself at the moment, and is just, like, okay.
Extremely fair. Who among us?
She's like, this is the group I came with, I don't know. Actually, as you head out, you see Karis emerge from the woods.
Yeah, Grim is still the only one other than Bones who has actually met Karis. Will raise a hand, sort of half wave and half just to get her attention. Is she by herself?
She is currently by herself, yes. She's dressed in like a pair of sturdy pants and like a tunic, in a deep green color with like elven embroidery on the neck and on the edges. And she'll walk over to meet with you.
And Grim is like will make the gesture of like come with us because they're certainly not going to try to stop Corinne's trajectory.
Sure.
This is oh, that's pretty good. This is Karis. This is Olenia. You know this one, pointing at Bones. That, pointing at her back, is Corinne. She is on a mission. We will follow. How are the woods?
Good, well stocked. Lots of, fair amount of game. Definitely some medicinals and the like. Herbs, berry plants, the sort of thing that you like to see in the woods.
I believe you. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Is it of interest then, now that you've seen it? The school as well as the woods?
The school as well as the woods, yes. I think this
All
is more or less what I wanted to do when I retired from the Lucky Hand, so this is just a larger scale of what I wanted to do in the first place.
Very good. We should warn you, there was a mind flayer in possession of it. Seem to think he was part of something larger. We've taken care of him, and we'll look into whether there is in fact something larger. We haven't seen any evidence of it, but
Well, mind
he seemed very
flayers
convinced.
rarely work alone, so
That is not what I was hoping you would say. All right.
apologies.
So we will let you know if we learn of any other threat to this place, but didn't want to hand it over without warning you.
Thank you, appreciate it. And I have some ability to protect it, and worst comes to worst, I can call back my party.
Very good.
I might do that anyway.
Do they also want you out of school?
No, but at the very least, Jin and Vincent will make sure everything is protected as much as we can.
All right.
And Crystal will like the library.
Everyone does like a library. Your house in the city, then, what becomes of that?
I find an assistant to run it as a foundling house for younger children to be dropped off at if needed. And I think that will be the case. I have some contacts that would be a good match for that.
Grim is looking visibly conflicted. All right.
What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong.
All right.
Trying to decide whether that seems redundant.
Well, this place is a few hours outside the city. Or, I'm sorry, a few days outside of the city, if you don't have magic to travel with.
I know, and if I'm sending the competition several days away, then
I mean,
would like them to be several days away.
competition. I'm for that house different age group altogether. I'm talking foundlings. I don't think you want a 3-day-old dropped on your doorstep.
Oh no, we did that once. That was enough. Not 3 days old, but kind of looking at Eliana for help.
Still in an age that we couldn't take care of easily.
Yes, that. All right. Thank you. I feel much better now. Mouse is here. Have you found him yet?
Yes. I think he ate his weight in pancakes, showed me his potato project, and then took a nap.
He didn't get that potato thing from you, did he?
I mean, no. I think I tried to teach him how to cook, and it just... He may have absorbed heat equals... heat plus speed equals cooking, or heat plus time equals cooked, and thus... Because I told him that if you cook things on a higher heat, it cooks faster. He may have assumed that at all heats, things will cook. Just a matter of time.
It makes a great deal of sense, except for the part where it's wrong.
It's
all right.
Very wrong. I don't... Honestly, I did try to convince him, but I think experience might be the best teacher there.
Grim nods, looking relieved. All right, I didn't really think that you had taught him that, but I had to make sure.
And worst comes to worst, when the potato gets very strange, we'll plant it.
Grim laughs a little bit in spite of himself. And I think is all set with Karis, unless she has anything to say or anyone else has anything they want to say to her.
Nope.
And has definitely been walking talking
to
avoid losing Corinne completely.
Yeah, and you guys get to the second building. It's similar to the first, but a little bit less organized and a little bit more chaotic, as it appears some sort of ball game has been set up in the sitting area. All of the furniture has been pushed back and against the wall, so that some sort of game with a ball and a stick and goals is happening. It looks vaguely similar to floor hockey, but yet not.
Is this like this is actively underway as we enter?
Not only
or
actively
was it
underway, there appears to be several players who have smaller players on their shoulders while they're playing.
that seems safe.
Yeah, as you walk in, you see a player that does not have a second player get to the other side and go, "King me!" And a smaller kid is put on his shoulders.
Incredible.
And
Corinne ignores all of this and just continues through the like on path.
Karis is immediately diverted to go deal with this before someone breaks something. And more like someone breaks something of themselves, and more like someone breaks the furniture. She doesn't care about the furniture, but she's like, okay, this is gonna end in broken bones.
Yup. That tracks.
Oh, no, we're calling this here. Definitely an outdoor game, as you guys hear as she starts to really take control of the situation.
Elena watches with amusement and some degree of contentment, and then goes to help out Corinne.
Grim continues to follow, but says out loud to sort of Eliana and Bones are probably the closest, but sort of to no one in particular. Who do you suppose was winning?
Oh, I think it was that team. And she points to a particularly big kid with a particularly little kid on their shoulder.
They do appear to have the best tactics. Bones agrees.
Grim is satisfied. Continues to follow.
Okay. You head upstairs. The first room. Similar. It's less chaotic than the girls' dormitory is. This room has not been taken apart for pieces to build forts and such with. If anything, there's more furniture in this room than should make sense. Like, an entire whole ass couch was moved into this room. So, there are a couple of younger kids, actually. It seems like a good mix of boys and girls, felt back here. Sleeping on, occasionally in single beds, occasionally like they've all piled into one bed like a bunch of puppies. Bones just shakes her head. Nothing is new.
The roof is new.
You're right, the roof is new. The second room is empty. There were beds, but it looks like most of the occupants of this room are downstairs playing whatever weird game that they have invented.
Sorry, there are beds now. The occupants just aren't here. There were beds, but the beds have also moved out. Okay.
Oh no, the beds are there, but it looks like they got up very early to play whatever the hell that game they invented is.
Priorities.
Yeah. The third room, similar to the last room, it seems like a fair amount of people have piled into share beds. Couples have emerged. Like, as with any large group of teenagers, couples emerged very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Are our acquaintances, Bridget and what's his name, and Rally and Drea, are they in here?
Yeah. You see Bones actually move over to one of the beds and get a mischievous look in her gold eyes as she grabs the covers and just yanks it with the dexterity of 18. So, and you see Rally and Dreda are like curled up together and immediately shocked as Bones is like smirking at them.
Grim says very quietly to Eliana, I would not have done that.
No, neither would I.
Bones just grins down at Dreda. Dreda is like,
Shut up.
yeah, Dreda's like, Bones? Oh. What do you want? And Bones just grins down at her. 2 gold pieces for the bet that we made that you have just broken.
Oh no.
Dreda snorts, digs into her pocket, and slings a couple of gold pieces at Bones, who catches them. Told you, Bones says, and walks away. And she comes back to join you all.
All right, I don't think that's quite what we were looking for.
Well, it's good to know that everyone's normal.
Very normal. I think we might need to warn the adults so that
Yes.
some sort of situation can be put into place about this.
Have we stepped out of the room yet?
I would assume so. You guys are probably having this conversation as you walk out.
Okay. I was
Right.
also... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they won't all want to, but enough of them will.
Bones nods.
Also thought we should warn them about whether any of them might not stay. At least so they're not surprised. So they can decide how concerned to be.
That's fair enough. I'm sure that Karis will want to get a decent census, at least, of who's here and who's not.
Nods.
Does it look like there's a third floor attic in this building as well?
Yes. As you guys head up to the 3rd floor attic, you notice that this room is a lot more untouched. It has not even occurred to most of the occupants in this building to go upstairs to get their stuff.
No stray sleepers up here.
Beg your pardon?
It was the next dorm over seemed to have been more attached to their personal effects and the personal effects potentially of others.
Interesting.
Don't worry
I'm
about it,
just
it's
gonna
fine.
Start poking through... not poking through the trunks, but we'll definitely, lift a couple of trunk lids and just sort of peek inside and see what kind of stuff is here.
Yeah. It seems mostly, clothes, someone's favorite blanket, couple of, personal, like someone has a rock collection in there.
Oh.
The sort of thing that a kid would pack with them to go to a place for an extended period of time. So, a lot of it is, clothes and stuff like that makes sense. And then there's, Teddy is kind of tucked into a corner because he's too old to bring it, but he's not old enough to not bring it, so.
Oh. This is a little baffling to Grim. Who just sort of, I think on getting to the rock collection, just sort of stares into that trunk for a few moments. Why would you bring this? Why would you have this?
If you didn't want to leave it behind.
It's rocks.
Perhaps the special rocks.
Kids collect things.
I'm gonna pick up a rock. Does it seem special?
It's very, very pretty and smooth, and this one's like a dark, like almost black color. It's not like glassy or anything. It's just a river rock. It has a good weight to it though.
Grim will sort of weigh it in their hands, shrug, and put it back down. And put it like gently in the same place they got it. They're not just like chucking it back into the trunk and close the lid. All right. None of those little wiggly horrors here, so that's good so far.
I should say so. Quick look at the windows. How they're same sort of story as the downstairs, or not the downstairs, the girls' dorm.
Yeah. Where a lot of the windows here, where there looks like almost all of them, if not all of them, have been warded or something like that to keep people in. But those wards have dissipated and no longer seem to be active. It looks like they've maybe burned off.
Cool. Well, the wards are gone, so that's good news in both buildings. So no worry about keeping folks in unless I suppose the new regime wants to do something about the fraternization, shall we say?
Which will be their problem, or not
Will
problem.
indeed.
All right.
Very happy that's not our problem.
Grim nods. Agreement. Are there any
So
other hidden basements that we should be aware of?
Not in the girls' dormitory. I can check once more downstairs, but it doesn't look like there's any sort of basement at all. If this building's any sort of mirror.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like the footprint lines up and everything. It might just have been a quick build. They decided not to dig too deep of a foundation.
Yeah.
I don't know how many wiggly horror pools you need. Maybe one's enough.
Hopefully one's enough.
Hopefully one's enough.
Ugh.
Troop
Well,
back down.
did your elf tree walker friend arrive?
You didn't hear her?
Oh no, I was. Wait. Oh, so she is here.
She is. She
Oh.
joined us outside
Oh, lovely.
briefly. We didn't interrupt you.
That makes sense.
So, yes, she's getting settled. I think we'll all be all right with that.
Very good.
So are we settled here then? Once you look
should
in the
think so.
basement, if there
I
is one.
think we've taken care of what we need to.
Corinne will head back towards the stairs.
Follow.
Bone does as well.
Yep.
And she'll be like, so she kind of shrugs. I can get us back to the city now. It'll give us a little time to prep for whatever we're walking into tonight.
It'd be good to do some research, especially if there's something that's gone unusual with the preparations for the fundraiser,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's been cancelled, or if there's some sort of unexpected last-minute kerfuffle around it.
I think so.
Which is what I'd expect if perhaps the representative was under the influence of the headmaster.
Yeah. Or it would be interesting to know if nothing happens, because that's almost even more suspicious.
Grim nods, a
Yes.
little more enthusiastically than they would like.
We have a plan for getting invitations. Yes, I think I said I would get them.
Oh, I feel like we did, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Was there a Taldore who was going to be able to hook us up?
I
Or did
think
we...
that there was some combination of Taldore. Bones said that she would be able to get her a couple, probably a couple of invitations just through Reg, and basically you guys pumped your connections and we're definitely able to get all the invitations that you need.
Fabulous. I guess Corinne's sister might have also been able to pull some strings. Yeah. Cool.
I did speak with Ola. I wanted to know how far out from shore they were when they were boarded. It wasn't far.
Is in close to the harbor or just generally close to shore?
Generally close to land. Their ship wasn't equipped to go very far out from land.
Did she say whether it was a full crew or whether it was just herself and her husband?
No, I forgot to ask that.
Well, we'll be back there shortly. Briefly.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys heading back to the lodge, the main building.
Think
Yep.
so. If we've satisfied ourselves that there's no basement. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys do a good thorough search. I won't even make you roll, but you find that there is no basement.
Delightful. And on the way, the one other thing that Grim would say is, I wasn't sure whether to tell Karis of Say's situation as well. Not Say's situation specifically, but what had happened. That was a day's ride in a different wood, so I don't believe it's immediately relevant. But unsettling. But many things are unsettling.
That's true.
Well, she mentioned bringing Vincent and Jin and Crystal back, so they're more than equipped to handle it. That's a cleric, a paladin, and a warlock, so.
Grim has nothing else to say once the word warlock is uttered. Yeah, we'll head back to walk to the dining room, snag another pancake, frost it, roll it up, head to the kitchen.
What on earth is that?
Just holds it out in her direction. With, I mean, she knows the expression of Grim is offering Corinne something sweet.
Mm-hmm. She like leans in very tentatively and like sniffs at it. It's the strangest combination of sweet and tart. She takes like a small like shakes her pinky and like takes a tiny dab of the frosting and tastes it and then makes like a little bit of a face. I'm very happy for you, and like pats their shoulder.
As am I, and we'll take a bite of the burrito.
Bones is
Reads us
just
back into the kitchen.
Bones is just grinning at this entire conversation. Like she's had this conversation before, like word for word.
Red-headed rogues. They're hapless partners. Your ship, or really your crew, was there one? Or was it just the two of you?
Oh, there were 5 of us.
So the others are not here, I assume.
No, the other three were last minute replacements, actually. Hired hands from the Zolk. Our normal crew got a bad case of flu that ran through them, thankfully.
Lucky for that crew.
Is it luck? It seems like a very strange coincidence. Corinne is like very suddenly paying attention.
It could be a strange coincidence, but I mean, the flu was going through the town, and I do not understand why we would be targets specifically. Other than
It might not be that you were targets, you might have just been the next ship out.
we might also have just had shit luck, and with a terrible crew, we sank.
When do we know who boarded them? Any do we know if it was humans or tentacles? I
Did not know.
What the-
She
Okay.
does not remember. She remember
Okay.
they ran into a storm, and the ship was taking on water, and that's the last she remembers.
Okay. And as best you remember, your replacements were helpful up until you don't remember anymore. Or
I mean, helpful.
as
enough.
helpful as
It's
last minute replacements could be,
as helpful as temps are. Yes.
who were available to join last minute. All right. All right.
We are not picking from the cream of the crop at that point. Everyone was sick.
Grim nods. And what was the ship called? What can you describe it?
Of course, it was a flute. It was, sorry, I'm looking up the name in my notes.
I don't actually mean to make you describe a ship in great detail.
Uh,
Ola and Grim would know.
You know, a flute is a small cargo ship.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find. Oh my god. Damn. It was called the Revenge.
All right. Thank you.
Of course.
Add something to Grim's to-do list back in Waterdeep.
Are you all heading out then?
I think so. We've done as much as we can here, I think. They're supposed to be having a fundraiser back in Waterdeep for this school that isn't a school. And we'd like to see if it's still going on or if it has completely fallen apart.
Oh, well, if it's still going on, get us the money. I could use the supplies.
Corinne just nods.
I suppose we are making a school of adventurers, so they will need outfitting.
Grim does have sort of like a brief look of recognition. Do you... Well, no. If Eris is here, then she'll have a way of handling it. But do let us know if anyone shows up who seems to be associated with the previous staff, I believe.
Will do.
Grim nods. All right. I think we're ready then.
Okay. Bones will nod. I need a bit of area to cast this, but there should be enough in the front hall.
Excellent.
On the way back through the dining room front hall, I'm just gonna grab and Frost 2 more pancakes. We'll hand one to Invisible Bosun, and we'll keep the other for themselves.
Okay. You see on the way back, Bones grabs one of the pancakes and also frosts it. And she finds like this she's like that one, and like gets like raspberry preserves and puts it on it, and she rolls it up like a cannoli. She just holds it like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this, but
Are you going to be able to cast with that?
Maybe? You want to hold it for me?
I was going to suggest you give it to Bosun, but he would eat it. I would probably also eat it.
Corinne.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll keep this safe.
She hands it off to Corinne.
Yeah.
The least likely to eat it. As she pulls out a small scroll. It's, probably 8.5 by 11, so it's not exceptionally large, or it's not even that ornate. And you see her, and she pulls a small necklace out from under her armor, and it's got a weird shaped pendant on it, and she actually plays a small note on the pendant. And there's a couple trilling notes, and you all disappear.
We don't even have to hold hands. Ferg lied to us.
Ferg definitely lied to y'all.
That checks out. Ferg just like tugs. Cool.
Ferg just like tugs.
That's
So
fair.
yeah, you guys end up in a well-appointed kind of foyer. It's circular, which makes a lot of sense if it's a wizard tower. And there are a few young people kind of milling about that do not seem perturbed that a group of people just appeared in the middle of the room. A small bell goes off, and a very straight-backed, older gentleman approaches, looking very dour.
Corinne walks up. Hello. Pleasure to meet you. Corinne Eleanor Regina M. Cathra of the, Waterdeep Cathras. I'm sure you've heard of us. You also probably know Bones. She seems to be familiar with this area.
I'm familiar with Mistress DeFerrin, yes. Bones just grins at you, Corinne. Yeah, this is my house.
You could have said so.
Well, this floor isn't really my house, but hello, Fleming. Is Reg upstairs? And as she asks, a younger gentleman kind of comes out. He's got like brown hair with like a couple of grays in it, but mostly from more stress than from age. He's definitely like older than Bones, though. He's got like kind of got like a 5 o'clock shadow, but maybe it's like closer to like a 10 o'clock shadow. Looks a little flustered. But grins at Bones as, he's kind of spots her. Bones smiles. Hey, Reg. We didn't die. And I brought you a cannoli. Or a pancake. Something.
Corinne extends the pancake. It's not exactly a cannoli, but it's fairly close.
He nods and he heads down the stairs and kind of pushes past Fleming. As he walks by, Bones leans up and gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he grabs the offered sweet. Thank you. He kind of looks at you all. So, hello. I'm
It's
Reginald
nice.
Crosp.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Aliana. This is Grim, Corinne. Yes.
Nice to meet you as well. Welcome to my tower.
What
Thank
town is
you.
this in? I don't know that I've ever been in a wizard's tower before.
We're in Waterdeep.
Well, yes, of course, but which is this, the North Ward, Sea Ward, Trades Ward? What's... And she goes to look out a window to see if she can get her bearings.
Yeah, as you look out the window, you see you guys are in the Sea Ward. Reg kind of shrugs his shoulders a little bit, and Bones says, "We're in the Sea Ward, the northern part of the Sea Ward."
I am to believe that you know how to safely dispose of the body of a mind flayer?
Oh, I've.
He blinks a little bit, like. And you just see Bones just grin as he, like, kind of blinks at you, turns his head to Bones, blinks at Bones, turns his head back to you and went, I suppose? Yes? Okay. You have a body of a mind flayer. And Bones just nods. Yeah, there was a mind flayer.
I do. There was a bag of in my bag of holding. I kept it for in case we needed to show it as proof of what we encountered at the Caring Hands School. I'm currently thinking that it won't be needed. Do any of you think it's worth holding on to this for any longer?
I am a master of the arcane. If anyone asks if I saw a mind flayer, I would be able to confirm it. Once I see the mind flayer, I suppose.
I would like to have some form of proof, but I would like it to not be proof that we are carrying around in a bag.
I can write you like an official note.
That would be much better, I think. That would fit in the bag and take up less space and also not be a dead thing.
Yes, I'll feel better when that's out of the bag.
Right.
I suppose it depends on what it's written on.
Where even, and Bones just, let's take it to the forge. We can burn it. And Reg just nods. Yeah, the forge, I suppose. Okay. And he looks like this is a lot this morning.
I mean, fair.
Like, maybe he didn't sleep super well last night, but this morning has been a lot already.
Hello, surprise! To meet these 3 new people into our home, and also we have a dead mind flayer.
There's also an air of, like, this is pretty status quo for...
Sisterly.
He's tired, but he does not seem at all surprised that Bones has walked in with, like, oh yeah, this is a dead mind flayer and my 3 new friends. Like, it does not seem
like, it's just Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday.
Very good. I have one other request that may be more conventional.
Conventional
hoping
sounds good.
I was hoping to obtain a set of telescription pens.
She remembered.
He nods. Oh, the Phantom Scribe apparatuses. Yeah, I can get you a pair.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and he leads you downstairs, down like a set of staircases into a fairly decent sized room with a large, like, forge in the corner. And he kind of looks at it, and Bones just moves forward, and she, with a skill that you guys wouldn't place with her, begins lighting the forge and, like, getting it prepped.
And Lenya will draw out the mind flayer and with the contaminated rags for when it is ready to throw into the forge.
And he looks at it and just goes, that is definitely a mind flayer. Right, so you killed a mind flayer then, and there were no other mind flayers, and...
There was a pond of them in the sub-basement, and we destroyed that too.
Good to know. With fire?
Yes.
Lots of fire.
He nods in approval. Right, so paper, and Bones just like, shelf, top shelf, right there. Reginald nods and heads over to the shelf, pulls out some paper, and begins writing a note. Like an official note saying, these people came back with a mind flayer and I saw it with my own eyes.
I am changing in Lenya's inventory mind flayer body to mind flayer verification note.
I love it.
Perfect.
As he kind of signs off on it, Bones looks up and goes, "Oh, you should use, sweetheart, use all of your titles." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, right. And he, like, takes it. He was starting to roll up the notes, so he unrolls it and starts writing some more before handing it over.
Grim is going to, while he's adding titles, is going to telepathically instruct Invisible Bosun to go look at the note, like fly above Red, look down at the note, and we'll just sort of put a hand on Eliana's shoulder, and we'll look through Bosun's eyes for a moment and try to read
Sure.
the name and titles.
Yeah, it says, "I by my own eyes and hand did witness the bearer of this note carried in a mind flayer, of which we destroyed the body of for the protection of the citizens of Waterdeep. This is signed, this day, and it has the date, by, it says, Master Reginald Crosp, High Arcanist of the Black Dragon Commission, Master of Divination, Master of Evocation."
Cool. That is very official. Okay. None of that means anything to Grim, but they will have questions later for someone. We'll find out who. Cool. They will return to their own senses. Drop out of Bosun's eyes. Bosun will attempt to sneak fly away without being noticed.
Reg seems to not notice him at all.
Excellent.
And he holds out the note and looks and then hands it to Corinne.
Corinne takes it and then hands it to Lenya.
Lenya puts it into, reviews it, looks into, puts it away in her bag. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. He gives you, like, double thumbs up.
Yes, I should note that we've come in here unexpectedly and we've asked for a lot of things. We at least I am willing to be of assistance from time to time if said assistance is needed. I'm not volunteering my friends for anything, only that I want to know you to know I'm not just somebody who shows up and asks for things.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm really used to adventurers, and he points to Bones. Bones is... Bones. Actually, he wouldn't
She
say...
is,
Hold
isn't
on,
she?
sorry, he doesn't say that. He goes, "Summer is always bringing home people. So, no worries."
I'm sorry, Summer?
See Bones freeze, and she looks and glares at Reginald, and Reginald goes, and he just turns around and walks away.
And is that the name?
Yes, that is a name
What?
you recognize.
Grim has also frozen, but is definitely not looking at anyone.
Yeah, Reginald does not flee, but he definitely is like, "And that's my time," and he just walks away.
Summer, what's the... Any particular reason for the change, or just wanted something different?
Oh, I have like, I have 3 or 4 names, as happens with Tabaxi.
Oh.
And I'm not 100% Tabaxi, so I have like my common elven name, and then I have my Tabaxi, my original Tabaxi name, and then I have a new Tabaxi name, and then I have the name that I use for business.
All right.
Bones is the one you use for business?
It is, yeah. So it was born Summer, and then my Tabaxi name was Solstice of Summer, and then after that, I got called Naught But Bones, and then that got shortened to Bones, and then as I became known, it just became Bones Darkmoon.
That gives you plenty of options.
It really does.
nice to have them.
But Reg, when I first got together with him, I signed all of my notes with my real name, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but also Reg is terrible at keeping a secret, so.
Is it a secret?
I mean, I don't advertise it.
Well, I shan't either.
As
Unless you change your mind about it.
You see her
When
get the
did it-
forge nice and hot. Go ahead.
When did it become a secret?
I mean, it's not like a secret, it's just like I'm trying to be Inquisitor Darkmoon and not that kitten that you remember picking your pocket at the docks and then blinking very
No, you probably did. I wouldn't have noticed.
very, very large golden eyes at you, and definitely not.
Grim is realizing too late that she may not have meant specifically you,
Yeah.
but more of a general you, and they tried to insight that.
Sure. Yep.
They definitely thought she was flexing. Wow, that's another net 20. So 26.
Yeah, she's definitely talking about like general like citizens. Like she's the same age as you, more or less. So you realize that she's not as far away from those years as maybe someone who's a little bit more established would be. So she's like, yeah, I don't need to be associated or known for, being not even so much being like a doc kid, but like when the name Summer happened, you immediately got a picture in your head. And the picture in your head was of like cute little cat girl with bouncing golden curls. And was used very similarly to you as like both distraction and get out of jail free card. Like,
Yeah.
so probably not the mood that.
Yeah, not the Inquisitor vibe.
Yeah.
I think Grim nods slowly, sort of thoughtful for a moment, and then with less judgment, less like neutral tone, less judgmental tone than one might expect from Grim at this moment. You got rid of the accent, but definitely like in their strong Dockward accent that they have not gotten rid of, but not like no additional judgment layered onto it. It's just stating a fact.
Yeah. I'm a good mimic. I got picked up and I got adopted and worked with my adopted dad for a bit, and then traveled all around. So yeah, I got rid of my accent and gained a few languages.
Did it help?
Well, if I hadn't traveled, wouldn't have gone to call, wouldn't have rescued a scruffy-looking wizard from a dungeon. So yeah, I think it worked out well.
The accent specifically.
Oh, the accent? He kind of shrugs.
Grim nods. Sort of returns to just sort of loses himself in thought again for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can still do the accent when I need to. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. Just like speaking Dwarven or Gnomish or Elvish or whatever is sometimes useful, sometimes not.
Sort of feel like that makes it worse. Again, like no judgment, just a fact.
She just shrugs.
So, we have confirmed death of a mind flayer and disposed of same. Shall we do some poking around about the fundraiser? Is it still going on? Is it not? If it's not, why not? And if it is, what are the circumstances around it? Has anything changed in its venue, guest list? Anything sort of odd going on that might indicate something has changed, or is it just as though business were usual?
We have a mission.
Grim nods agreement. Where do we find that sort of thing? If we don't know the hosts well enough to ask them directly, or are you going to know the hosts well enough to ask them directly?
Oh, I don't. But I know that rich people gossip. It's just the thing that they do to pass the time before, between baths, naps, and meals. So we go listen at some key places around the Sea Ward, the North Ward. We'll figure it out pretty quickly, I think.
Forest baths?
No, because those will be out in the woods. It's too cold for forest bathing this time of year. Most of that will happen in the late spring is when that'll pick up.
Can I tell?
Very good.
Can Grim tell if Grim is thinking? Grim would like to confirm their impression that Corinne completely failed to realize that was a joke. 21.
Oh yeah, completely missed that it was an actual joke. Yeah.
Bones just is like wrestling the body of a mind flayer into the forge and just feels like she's just shaking her head like rich people have too much time.
Grim stifles a laugh and goes to help with the mind flayer wrestling.
Yeah, you guys, between the two of you,
Yeah.
managed to get the mind flayer shoved into the forge, and it's hot. It's real hot, so it's burning real quick.
How awful does it like? Does it smell worse than
it doesn't
normal?
really smell because it's very well vented here. You realize that this
That's
room
nice.
is very well vented. Bones just like dusts off her hands and leans back and watches the forge burn a mind flare. You're like, that's a couple 1,000 degrees. That should do it.
That's fine.
Grim would like to, is not just gonna slap their hand on the forge. Plays even Grim is smarter than that. But is going to just sort of slowly move their hand towards it to see to gauge how close they can put their hand before it begins to feel too hot to feel safe. And then we'll sort of, once they hit that point, we'll sort of hold their hand there, basically as long as they can tolerate it.
Yeah. It's getting
withdraw.
pretty close. It seems like it's a very well insulated forge. Bones does watch you with a very sharp look as you start to go touch the. She's like, Why is the normie trying to touch the forge?
Grim does not look at her as they sort of keep their hand there and then eventually withdraw it and turn back to the group. All right.
Right, should we go eavesdrop?
Do you want all of us for that, or?
Perhaps you, pointing at Bones. Yes. Perhaps you.
Fair enough.
The other two, you are absolutely welcome to go and overhear whatever you are able to overhear. I just am realistic about what places I can sneak into.
Maybe we go back to the call and see what may have happened there in our absence.
Not a bad idea.
That sounds much better to me than eavesdropping at wherever you're going to go. I will look forward to hearing about it later, though.
You will.
Right, didn't you all leave Alina at your bar?
Yes.
Oh,
good.
That's right.
We did. It's fine.
I would love to see your bar.
could go by there on the way, although if you lose her, sort of jerks their thumb in Corin's direction, you'll have a double of time finding her again.
Tracking people is kind of my thing, but
Sounds like a challenge. Like
Sounds like a very fun game.
grinning at Corinne.
Oh, she looks delighted by this by this prospect.
So we, gesturing at themselves and Eliana and Bones, will return to the call, and you will go do what you do. And we will see if you, pointing at Bones, are able to find her when you're ready.
sounds fair.
I don't know what the stakes are, but you two can decide amongst yourselves, I suppose. You don't need me for that.
Bones looks at you. Steak dinner?
For you, yes. Top shelf bottle of red wine for me.
Fair enough.
And Corinne extends her hand to shake on it.
Oh yeah, Bones shakes on it.
Excellent. I shall see you all at some point, whether it's to present findings or being dragged up to the call with my head between my heels, or whatever that phrase is. Tail between my... Oh no, that's not it either.
Grimace will feel a little concerned at this point.
Either way, I will see the rest of you all at some point. And
Grim is also going to sort of, and not trying to hide this, just like points at the open air, and looks at the open air and just flicks their hand towards Corinne, and Bosun flaps over to her. Invisible Bosun has been assigned to stay with Corinne, just in case.
Fair enough.
amazing. And Corinne heads out the direction she assumes that the exit is. I don't know if we actually saw an exit, considering that we didn't really see an entrance.
Yeah, I assume you guys all walk out together, more or less.
Sure.
Bones
Yeah,
gonna
quest
head up the
players.
stairs.
Question before we depart, is Lenya actually departing with a set of pens, or did she just talk about it?
No,
realize
you're
I
actually
didn't have to
departing.
look at those statistics.
As you leave, Reg appears, hands you a pair of long black pens, and waves at Bones, and Bones gives him a wave, and she leaves.
Thank you.
He nods to you. Yeah, I'm happy to help. Whatever you need.
She nods and exits with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Add a pair of telescription pens to your inventory.
I shall.
Fantastic. As most of you head back to the call. The bar is still in one piece.
Just real quick, can I request that we maybe take a little break?
Oh yeah.
Since we're about the halfway point.
Yeah. Want to take a 10-minute break?
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I'm glad the call is still standing. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
I didn't doubt Alina, but one never knows.
I expected nothing less from Kalindra.
Oh, poor kid. Was your burger okay?
Yeah, it was okay.
Did you put my sandwich in the fridge?
Yeah. Bottom rack on top of food.
Oh. Alright, looks like everyone's back.
I think so.
Alright.
All right.
And do we have a Corinne?
Yes, sorry, I'm on mute because I'm eating.
Oh, okay. Alright, well then we will start with the crew at the last call first.
So it's still standing.
It
That's
is
nice.
still standing. You head inside. It's, I'd say at this point, I mean late morning, so
I was just gonna ask. Good to know.
it took a little bit to, check all of the dorms
Creeping
and
a mind flayer.
creeping a mind flayer. And Bones did have to take a second to get someone to come babysit the forge while it went out. So
Yeah. You don't want to just leave that running unattended.
No,
when
no.
it's
No.
thousands of degrees. Can't
Maybe
imagine
not.
why not.
not quite a good idea. Actually, as you guys left, she motioned, and an older dwarven gentleman looked like, oh, well, my work is half done for me, and headed downstairs. So
I just had a moment of thinking about how much glass blowing there must be to make all of the potion and jars and other containers that a wizard would need. Anyway,
yeah.
What's going on in the bar?
It's actually a pretty slow morning because it's after breakfast time, but before
Mhm.
lunchtime, so it's in that awkward slow period. You see Kalindra is behind the bar, kind of doing prep work. She gives you a wave as you come in. Welcome back.
Hello. How was it? Did we miss anything interesting? I know we weren't gone for long.
Not interesting.
Do I believe her?
Sure.
That was a very long 11.
Yeah, you believe her. Learned a few more drinks for the bar.
Oh,
How popular are they?
They're
taught you.
I mean, Alina.
Huh. How popular are they?
Pretty popular. We were really busy last night, and Alina jumped behind the bar to help.
Grim visibly has mixed feelings about that. Do any of these catch on fire?
No.
Nobody's tried to kill Elena, have they?
No.
Good.
Has Alina tried to kill anybody?
No, not really. She bounced a couple of people, but, I mean, because I asked her to.
Grim nods approvingly. All right. Grim's looking around. Is Alina present?
She's, as you look around, she just points at, she's upstairs in the library.
All right.
I think it's good to check in on her. I can do that if you'd rather stay here.
Nods. Trying to look agreeable instead of relieved. Very good.
Elena knows.
Slide
goes
behind the bar.
upstairs.
Yeah. Just start talking with Kalindra about business things.
Yeah. Alright, easy enough. Aliana, you head upstairs to the library. You open the door. Alina is sitting upside down on the couch, reading a
Good
romance
morning.
novel. Good morning. Please tell me that I am free to go.
Nobody's tried to kill you, I heard, so You're probably free to go. I don't know if I'm the one who's making that decision, though. I don't think I don't think that was my decision to make.
Well, you said it, and she dismounts the couch because she like flips her feet backwards and does it like a weird backflip off the couch.
Oh, your mother might have my head.
I mean, I wasn't doing a very good job of keeping a low profile anyway, so
Didn't sound like it. But it sounded like that was for the better of the bar.
yeah, you guys were swamped last night.
Or what?
You guys were swamped last night.
Good. Business is good.
Mm-hmm. I made a weird blue drink. It went over well.
Blue Curacao?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Show me how to make it.
of course.
I might already know, but I think it would have been one of those drinks that I'd have been seeing the grown-ups drink, but never had any of myself.
Yeah, she'll head downstairs to help you make it.
Grim, who had learn a new cocktail on their to-do list, would also like to get it on this.
Of
on
course.
This, lesson. And nope, they're gonna wait until they can get Alina alone, but they will have a question for her later.
Sure.
They don't want to talk to her, but they also want to talk to her privately.
It's a whole thing.
This is the story of Grim's life.
It's grim. Yeah, so Alina heads behind the bar, and you see her pull out blue curacao and vodka, and some like lemonade that you guys keep for mixing, as well as a little bit of lime cordial, and just she makes you a blue lagoon. 1 part curacao, 1 part vodka, and 4 parts lemonade.
Grim would like to sample it. I've never had a blue lagoon. Is this sounds tart?
It's like it's a little tart, but it's like a little tart in the same way like lemonade is a little tart. Depends on the mix.
Okay.
And I'll post a picture of what it looks like. There you go.
It's so blue.
It's aggressively blue, yes.
Oh, that's good.
She nods. I learned to make them to make fun of Uriel, and they're kind of his favorites, so now I make them all of the time.
Of course you did.
Grim, who is cautiously sampling theirs, chokes on it a little bit when she mentions that it's Uriel's favorite. Continues to sample and then puts the glass down and is just staring at it hard.
There's actually a version where you use cream and you float the cream into it to make it look like a cloudy day.
And Lenya's blushing.
Grim staring intensifies.
Yeah, Alina is oblivious.
I love her.
She is explaining how you can make you make the sunny day cocktail, which is the same thing but also has dollops of cream in it, so it looks like fluffy clouds. And you only stir it a little bit, because if you stir it too much, it gets yucky looking. But if you just stir it a little bit, like it looks like a sky. She's very excited to show you these drinks.
Grim eventually just sort of thinking out loud. Yep, this is exactly where their head was. Well, part of where it was. I am thinking not with the cream, well, maybe with the cream, but probably not with the cream, but this one taps the original glass. I am thinking that Corinne might not hate the taste of it, but I don't think I could get her to drink it. It's too blue.
It is aggressively blue, and I'm, for what it's worth, Corinne and Say very similar, and I have not gotten Say to drink it. She says that color is only found in poisonous frogs, and she will not drink it.
What does she drink? think I served her something the other night, but I don't recall what it was. There were many things happening.
She's very fan of whiskey and the traditional drinks. Nothing strange. Wine is always a good choice. Mead, beer.
Do you know anything else that Say likes that is a cocktail that is not blue?
Old fashions.
Teach me that, please.
Okay.
And like sneaks another glance at Eliana to see if she's recovered yet.
Yeah, she has.
Alina knows her way around a bar. Like, she's not surprised. I mean, I am assuming no one is surprised that she knows her
No,
way
not
around a
particularly.
bar. But as she pulls down bourbon and grabs some orange zest and some bitters, and she makes shows you how to make a bourbon old fashioned. The little orange peel in it.
Grim does nudge the original blue glass towards Eliana once she's recovered.
She takes a sip.
Grim samples the old fashioned, hates it, and nods to Alina. Thank you. That's very good. Not for me, but very good to know.
It's a good one to have on hand.
There haven't been any more rumors about the Caring Hands School circulating, have there?
Caring Hands School, she kind of thinks. I'm actually not that great when it comes to bartending like that. I just tried to do what Johnny would do. Caring Hands School. There was a big to-do about the fundraiser that is happening tonight, but I don't know what happened. I think that it is still on, but there was a problem with one of the organizers.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, the headmaster of the school was a mind flayer and we killed it, so we thought it was possible that might lead to problems.
That's what generally leads to problems. Yes, you killed a mind flayer? Back it up, and she grabs one of the old-fashioned that she knows that Grim has set aside and has no intention of drinking. So she, like, leans against the bar and starts sipping the old-fashioned that she has nabbed from Grim.
Yes, Grim sent it away. Corinne stabbed it when it came back. It was all extremely effective. So yes, we expect that there are some loose ends from that are going to need to be tied up here.
Yeah, fair. That sounds good. I wonder
And
if...
also maybe other mind flayers who want to have designs on this world. Can I try that drink?
Of course, and she'll trade you.
Melania tries the old-fashioned. I like both of these.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, aberrations are always a threat. If they're being louder, though, that would be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, there was a lot of babble about wanting to prepare for the old ones, and it was something I don't want to think about, but I think I'm going to have to think about it.
Yes, it's the Great Lord, one of the old ones, or... Yep. Grim.
What is Kalindra doing during all of this? Because Grim is definitely like looking at Kalindra, trying to gauge her reaction.
Kalindra is like pretending that she's not listening while she slices limes and lemons for tonight's, like, just stocking the bar, but she's like pretending she's not listening, but she is definitely listening.
All right, can Grim just like to insight whether she is rattled or just listening? 21.
She's not rattled. She's definitely like listening to juicy gossip. Like,
okay,
she's listening.
Okay. Sorry about the interruption. Thank you for hearing the interruption. Carry on. If she's, as long as she's not rattled, Grim is not going to intervene.
Yes, I mean, aberrations and cults devoted to aberrations are always the thing. Usually pretty quiet, and then it gets loud for a little bit, and then very serious and loud for a little bit, and then it quiets down again for like 10 years. They do not move quickly. They do not move quickly. Liches move quickly. I mean, they will just fuck up your shit very quickly. They're like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. It, so like aberrations are all like slow burns. Like it's always like it starts with like a guy who's just really weird, and then it goes on, and then all of a sudden you got like a dozen mind flayers who are trying to summon Cthulhu or whatever the fuck. And then, but liches, there's always one guy, and he's always very temperamental, and he just like starts making big moves all of a sudden. So, I mean, that's the difference between liches and
Have you
aberrations.
done this before? Not the liches. I know you've done the liches. Have you done the mind flayers before?
Mind flayers, no. Weird cults devoted to aberrations. I've not taken on them myself, but my mother definitely taught me about them because, like, they pop up every decade or so.
All right. I'll need to. I think I'll want to talk to her about.
I mean, yes, you could definitely. I would recommend talking to my mama Ilya, not my mother Cure. They are both equally knowledgeable about such things, but when it comes to like studying a bad guy, you want Ilya. If you want someone to murder it with a lot of radiant damage, then you want Cure.
Yes. Yes. Right now, information to Ilya.
Yes. Yeah, she's the one to go to. And since I am now free from my bondage, I will take you to her.
All right. Yeah, I am happy to go. If Corinne gets back here before I do, let her know where I am.
Grim nods and sort of has. Oh, I just remembered Bones is here.
Yeah.
Is Bones here, or did Bones make herself scarce when not Eliana, when Alina
No,
returned?
she's sitting at the bar and watching Alina.
Okay.
And then Alina just hadn't noticed Bones because Bones is very stealthy.
We put her right to work making drinks.
And Alina looks over. She's like, "Ah, jeez, there's a cat at my bar. Well, not my bar. The bar that I am using
Not
now.
Your bar.
Not my bar. The bar that I am behind at the moment.
Yes, thank you. That is much more precise. May I borrow you? I had a question.
Yeah, of course. How did Reg react when you teleported in with a fucking mind flayer? Did he pass out? I want to know how what color of green he turned, and I mean, he is a college dropout, so like how the fuck he handled that. And Alina's just giving shit as she walks away to follow you.
Yeah, Grim will, I think, just walk straight out of the call. Like walk out out the front door into the porch.
Yeah, Alina will follow you.
And we'll close the door and lean back against the door. I don't know why this seemed like a good idea. I am looking for a place, and I thought you might know. Not a specific place. Well, I'm a specific place, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Somewhere that could be had for a night, comfortable,
Hmm.
that is not sort of gestures back at the bar and not one of these other inns,
Oh,
not the fancier inns,
okay.
not
So
one of
something
those,
some
somewhere
new.
new. Yes, nodding, a little relieved.
Hmm.
Somewhere that I don't know where it is to suggest it.
Um,
Somewhere that is not commonly known.
of course. You seem a little shy, so perhaps not a spa.
No, private.
Yeah. Um.
Definitely looked like there was a brief flash of horror when she
Yeah,
said spa.
yeah. Well, that's why she was like,
She
this, I
knows.
am
She knows.
immediately crossing this off the list. Um, hmm. I know of a place. It's a little further north of the city, but there is a gate to get there. Um, it's not well done here because not a lot of people are fans of hot springs, but I think I could get you the rental.
I don't know if I know what a hot spring is.
Oh, so like it's it's outside and it's usually this one is very remote and there's like a little cabin and it's very cute and there's like a very comfy bed and um it's like no one is around, but then there's outside there's like like imagine like a little pond, like probably big enough for like 4 people, but is naturally hot and comfortable. It's good for uh I did a lot of healing in the hot springs with the and she kind of motions to her face. It's
Grim
good
is
for,
sort of
for
nodding like gears turning. You said the bed was very comfortable,
it
like
is
very comfortable.
like exceptionally comfortable. Like
All right. That
say slowed down.
there is Grim doesn't know say that well, but they like visible recognition like this, and they nod decisively. That
She definitely
sounds.
did not sleep because elves do not sleep.
I don't need to know what she did in
Oh
the bed or
no,
otherwise, please.
I was making a joke. She went to sleep, but she won't admit it.
I believe you. All right. Um. Yes, that sounds like as a little surprised. And then a little surprised that they're surprised. That sounds perfect. Yes, that would.
Yeah.
If that could be arranged, that
Yeah,
would be.
It's yeah, it's a rental. It's not very well known, and I could probably get it for you for fairly inexpensively. The owner owes me a favor.
I feel like I should ask, but I don't think I want to ask.
Don't ask.
They nod relieved and will move away from blocking the door. Like everyone here knows that she could get past them if she wanted to. And will in fact open the door and sort of gesture for her to precede them if she wants.
Yeah, she heads in. So while she was out, anyone having any conversations or?
Can you? I completely lost track of where everybody was.
Yeah.
I
So
think Bones was at the bar.
Yeah.
Calendra was behind the bar slicing lemons.
Yeah, and Alina had walked out calling Reg a college dropout. So.
Lenya stayed in the bar.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that she sips probably the old-fashioned again, and she's not really in conversation mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
Willing to be approached, but not starting anything.
Sure. Alright, so it's not that long, and Grim and Alina head back inside. Alina nods to you and looks to Bones. I mean, I know you haven't been adventuring for very long, but you have nothing better to do than hang out at bars all day.
It's a very good bar.
It is a very good bar. Bone sticks her tongue out at Elena and hops off her stool. I mean, I just wanted to give a fair head start to Corinne. Because we're going to see how that plays out. Elena just shakes her head like, oh, Rogue's playing Rogue's game.
You've got one clue to go on.
Bones nods. She knows. Alright. Alina nods to you, Eliana. Would you like to go now, or do you need help finishing your drinks, or...
Now is as good a time as any.
Alright.
Do you need help finishing your drinks?
Alina's very helpful.
She is, isn't she?
As she gives shit to Bones for being at a bar in the middle of the day, as she offers to finish drinks for people at the bar in the middle of the day.
And if you want to finish that drink, I'm not stopping you.
Oh, fantastic. And she'll salute you with it and drink it. And, yep, then head out.
And Lenya's out the door.
Bones nods to you, Grim, and just... okay, so I'm gonna go and, see if I can earn myself a steak dinner.
Grim just gives her a wave. Is not concerned, but it certainly is not going to wish her luck.
Yeah. Fair.
Hopefully she knows it's not personal.
Oh, she knows, yeah. Alright. So, because I don't want this contest to be metagamed at all, I am saying that Bones' first location she would go to is Corinne's sister's house.
Ah, okay.
So I am announcing that now, so that if that was Corinne's first location, that it doesn't seem like I want everything to look above board. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Delightful. Excited to see what happens.
Good news, not Corinne's first location.
Fantastic.
First, she wants to go to the restaurant at the Griffin,
Mm-hmm.
the fancy ass hotel in this on the border of the Sea Ward and the.
Of course, yeah.
Lots of silly rich people go there. Lots of people go there to be seen. Lots of conversations to potentially overhear. It feels like a really good spot to be very efficient with gathering of intel.
For sure. Roll me 3 perception checks.
Okay. It's a 15, a 29, and another 15.
Okay, so 20
It's a 19 on the die.
So you sit down, I assume you get yourself a table and have a glass of wine and pretend to read a book or something. Be seen as you would. And just kind of listen to the conversations around you. The first conversation you hear, not very knowledgeable. They only know that there was a party. That is supposed to happen. The second conversation, though, is where you find out some shit, because damn. You find out that where's my notes? One of the youngest children of the Hawkwinter family, kind of all of a sudden seemed to snap. They don't know what happened. She was being fine, and then she just snapped. The younger Kieran is what she's called. She had had troubles before, so this is not unusual, and this is definitely hot goss. But it had kind of looked like she was, straightening out, and then all of a sudden flipped a switch, and now she is a little wilder than even before. There's also knowledge that one of her, like the headmaster of the school that they were sponsoring, who had come in to tutor her, also randomly went insane. That all of a sudden he developed an accent and was talking about like shipping, and everyone's like, you're a headmaster? What the hell? He's like, no, I'm actually a sailor, and everyone's like, no, you're not. So he definitely just went off the deep end and immediately developed a whole new personality with a whole new history and everything, and everyone's like, maybe he got hit on the head, maybe Kieran hit him on the head. So there's a lot of theories about that. But the party will be happening as planned. The Hawkwinters do not want the scandal of canceling it. And the next party you hear has got some of the same information, but not nearly as much.
Interesting. Do they mention, so just for clarification for me, the headmaster of the school, is this do they mention the name Caring Hands School? Or?
No, they do not. Not
okay.
by name. They seem to not really care, it's one of those, like, it's a party for some school.
Yeah. It's where we're going to be seen this week.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Very interesting. Okay. I think Corinne will finish. She's been like nursing this glass of wine. So she finishes her wine, leaves a generous tip, like leaves a gold at the table, and then heads out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of where she's going to go next.
Okay, so as we move along, Eliana, Alina is just comfortable. She walks you back to the one of the doorways that leads underground and to the Court of Miracles. Kind of waves herself in, like she owns the place. Which, I mean, it's Alina, so she always does.
She kind of does, yeah.
So you killed a mind flayer, huh?
Yes. I didn't contribute a lot to it myself, but we did.
Good job. Aberrations suck.
They do. I traveled with this wizard once who knew a great deal about mind flayers, maybe more than was healthy. And so I learned more about them than was healthy, and I can't say I was looking forward to facing this one. But we did it.
Aberrations can be weird on people's minds, so just keep an eye on your companions for any sort of strange behavior that is out of the ordinary.
I will. I'm sure they'll keep an eye on each other too.
Of course, but sometimes when we are close to someone, we do not see the warning signs.
What kinds of warning signs are we talking about?
Isolation is a big one. If they start isolating themselves, uh, withdrawing from society, from each other, uh, unnatural aggression. I mean, Grim is quiet and shy, but they're not usually aggressive. Um,
They're not.
so um, that's a big one. Um,
They're not even really shy. They don't like talking to people they don't know, but they're not really shy.
so those are the big things. Other than that, any obsessive behavior will be a warning sign. And I mean, if you notice anything like that, just reach out to us at the court. We will be happy to intercede.
All right. I will also mention these warning signs so that they can keep an eye on me.
Yes. But other than that, how was your trip?
Oh, well, we found we found some kids in the woods who had escaped from the school. Um, we have we've set up another school on the same grounds without the mind flare. We saw Kiss. She's doing well.
Yeah, it's about time for her to go into the woods and hibernate for the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure when I'll see her again.
I mean, are we ever sure when we'll see Kiss again? She kind of comes and goes.
Well, we have a room for her when she comes back.
Like, I mean, we joke that, you know, Bones is a cat, but when it comes down to cat-like behavior, Kiss is pretty far up there.
And then there's Quiche. I haven't let her out yet.
Oh,
Next, when I'm back in the call for more than 2 minutes, I'll let her out.
she'll be happy to be home.
Yeah.
And you guys walk your way to Ilya's office. Alina actually knocks. You hear a muffled voice from inside just saying, "Enter." Alina sticks her head in. "Hello, Mother. I am home, and I am no longer under lockdown and in hiding. Thank you so much for your care and assistance. Here's Eliana's here to talk to you. Bye." And you just see her bolt.
Well, I think it would, if you want her to be under custody for longer, then that could be arranged, but it seems like
Ilya looks up and just shakes her head. "Honestly, I'm surprised you guys kept her in one place for that long. Come in, come sit."
I am too, and then she sits.
Of course, it's a bar, so
It is. It's also becoming somewhat of a successful bar, and so I think if somebody was going to try to kill her, they would have some idea.
I mean, yes. And I know my daughter, and I know she was probably playing every night, so it's hard to hide her.
Probably.
She's like her mother in that way, not me, or Kjor. Not very good at hiding or keeping a low profile.
Not subtle.
Not subtle. Not subtle at all.
Oh, well, we can't all be like you or like Curran.
I mean, it would be a very, very boring world if you are. So,
Yes.
I assume you have come for a reason. What can I help you with?
Yes, Alina has informed me that you know about dealing with mind flayers and old ones and other aberrations. And the headmaster of the Caring Hands School was a mind flayer. We killed it. But before that, it gave quite a speech about how it was preparing the way for some old ones who were coming. And, well, I think that we could use all of the advice we could get.
Of course. Doesn't that makes sense on a certain level, especially where, say, the gunslinger was mind controlled,
Yes.
and probably had her mind read. If it it is a little bit of a relief because it means that maybe Alina wasn't like the target so much as a way to aim the gunslinger away from whatever they were doing.
Yeah, I could see that. So maybe that giant in the woods was working for the Mind Flayer and its kind, too.
Or it didn't exist.
That's possible.
If she was alone, if she was separated from her group, if she stumbled upon something that could control her mind. She is a very nice girl, but she does not strike me as the type to be particularly strong against such manipulations.
Well, that's possible.
And illusion magic and control magic can be very powerful, especially from mind flayers. You see her get up and move to a bookshelf as she's kind of looking through books. Aberrations are ancient things that are, how to explain. They are evil magic made manifest. Sometimes they are created by a wizard or something powerful. Sometimes it is just a seed of chaos and evil that takes hold of someone and is brought into existence. Much like, say you were walking in the woods and you found a seed that was very, very old, and you were like, I'm going to plant it and see what happens. Wizards do that a lot. Not literal seeds, but, information, spells, things like that. And it becomes obsession, and it becomes, because the aberration will feed on it, it will grow in strength. Mind flayers are different. Mind flayers are from the Underdark. They are creations of such a thing, but they are more servants of aberrations and these great old ones than they are like its creatures. And she pulls out a book and puts it on the, and it's a decent sized book, probably like an inch or two thick. Puts it on her desk. This one will be useful if you are looking into any sorts of aberrations, or if they're talking about, like you said, old ones. This is an encyclopedia of what we know about aberrations at the moment. I will trust you with it. And she pushes it across the desk to you.
Thank you. I will study this.
I mean, study it. Don't study it too hard. Like I said, these things they get your grips on your mind, and then all of a sudden you're painting all of your windows black and writing on the walls about how the old ones cometh.
I am no wizard. I can't get my mind to study, so that will probably not happen to me.
So I would recommend no more than a chapter or two a night.
That will probably be all I have the appetite for.
Fantastic. Oh, good to know.
The, it's necessity. It's not something that I enjoy for its own sake.
Of course. Good to know. Like I said, some things speak to some people in strange ways. I mean, you see the same thing in cults. In all cults. It speaks to someone, and then they're a little hooked, and then all of a sudden they are a lot hooked.
I don't want to let anything into my head.
She nods. I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
Your brain is always already so big, you don't need to add any other people in there.
I do not.
But, that is a good place to start if you're looking into aberrations. Or looking to understand what you found.
I'll do that, thank you.
Of course.
Best to be prepared if this is something that's coming and something that I have the capabilities to deal with my crew.
Of course. Keep me apprised. I will also brief our paladins and clerics for such a thing, because these things, they pop up slowly, but once they start going, it can be a whole ass effort to get it to stop.
Of course, I'll let you know what happens next.
Hopefully we caught the infection quickly and we're able to take care of it, but it can be difficult.
Yes, we're doing some mop-up, so to speak. There was going to be a fundraiser for the Caring Hands School tonight.
Yes, I got invitations for that for something, I don't know. And she pulls them off of her desk and hands them to you.
Thank you. Yes, we're planning to attend if the fundraiser is still on, and find out what other footholds the Mind Flayer may still have there.
Good idea. Yes, I would strongly recommend that. And you have someone with you that is good at reading people. I assume you are taking bones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Corinne, of course.
And Corinne. Yes, of course. You're fine.
Yes.
They will see it through anyone's bullshit. And, I mean, aberrations, they're subtle at the beginning, but then all of a sudden, like I said, they're painting their walls black and...
Oh, this one was not subtle at all.
Good. It makes them easier to catch.
Yes.
Is there anything else I could help you with?
Not right now, thank you.
Alright. Well,
I'll be on my way.
my door is always open to you.
Thank you. I will see you soon, hopefully with something happier to report.
Of course. And she waits till you're, like, almost out of the room.
And then?
And then she calls out, "By the way, Uriel is working in the gardens today."
All right. And she's out.
Yeah, and Ilya says nothing beyond that. There's nothing. She's just like, just random update on Uriel.
Yeah, just in case anybody might want to know for no particular
For
reason.
no reason whatsoever. Oh man.
So to the gardens it is.
To the gardens it is. Yeah. You find Uriel. He's actually not in cleric's robes or anything resembling robes. He's wearing a pair of pants and a pair of actually very thick-soled boots, and he's got a tunic and his sleeves are rolled up. Let me roll a perception check, please. Moment. He does not see you approach. He is...
Oh, that was you doing the perception check?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is, aggressively fighting a dandelion, and, does not notice your approach.
Hello.
welcome back. And he stands up and he kind of like tries to brush himself off because he's got a significant amount of he's not like lightly coated dramatically in dirt. Like he was like he, at some point crawling on the ground doing something. Um,
I'm back. Please, don't worry.
Sorry, that was not in character. I just had a coughing fit.
Oh.
I thought that wasn't in character.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I was just responding as though the coughing fit did not happen in the universe.
Fantastic. It's a good time to run out of water. So, he smiles at you and kind of holds his arms out and goes, I would offer you a hug, but I'm a bit caked at the moment.
He tries to prestidigitation him off.
Oh yeah, it works. I mean, it's not like abnormal dirt, so. He looks down at it. The mysteries of the arcane are quite impressive. The offer for a hug still stands.
She steps closer and hugs him.
Yeah, she gives you a tight hug back. Hopefully not too hard of a mission.
There was a mind flayer. We killed it.
Oh my god, so, are you alright?
Yes. It was gone before it had any chance to get us.
Good. Mind flayers will fuck up your mind quite thoroughly.
Yes, I've been warned. I have some reading to do. I was not looking forward to facing this one, but we were capable to handle it. I'm not looking forward to what the future may hold, but I'm glad that at least this one was easily dispatched.
Good. They tend to run in packs, but if it was just a single one, then maybe it was trying to set up a nursery or something.
Oh, it was trying to set up a nursery.
Oh, good. Good to know.
That one's gone too.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And the students are all right. I know mind flayers aren't fond of children and teenagers. Their brains are all weird soups of chemicals.
They're well taken care of. They've been adopted by a druid and a couple of Luskans.
That'll do it.
Yes.
Really only need like 2 Luskans to really run like, I would say 10 children per Luskan.
I think there are about 30 children total, so 10 children and no wait, then I think it's about 15 for maybe they could use another adult.
Well, the druid is the one that's in the North Ward?
Yes, Karis.
Oh, okay. Well, she ran with an adventuring party for a good bit, so she probably can summon other adults. Though, whether or not her companions counted as adults might be up for debate.
I feel like there's something to some adventuring parties having people who may technically be adults but don't act like them.
That's fair, and they were quite young, I remember, because that was one of the reasons Karis said she needed to settle down. And so she could set up a home for all of her wayward children. Of course, Karis is like 110, so everyone is a child to her.
Oh, yes. I suppose I'm a child to a lot of people.
To some, I suppose. But I think you are a capable young woman.
She raises her chin a little bit. I have a gift for you.
Oh?
And she gives him one of the pens. For keeping in touch.
This is beautiful, thank you. I assume it's magic of some sort.
Yes, Bones showed it to me. I think the way it works is that you write a message, and then then the other holder of the pen is able to pick it up and get the message that way.
Good to know.
Like it just writes itself with the pen.
Oh, through long distance, like sending or something, but with a pen, so not limited by words. That's quite
Yeah.
clever.
Yes. I don't know how long we might be staying or when we might be going again. I hope we'll be staying for a little while, but I wanted to have a way to better stay in touch with you.
Well, I appreciate it. Whether across the city or across the world, now we can always talk.
Yes.
Also, I'm much smoother writing.
I will look forward to it, though I hadn't had any. You're quite well spoken as it is.
Well, there's a trick to that.
Oh?
You know, just kind of obsessively think about what you're going to say all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you get to actually say it, it comes out fairly smooth.
I can see that.
So, you fought a mind flayer, destroyed a nursery. What else have you been up to? And he actually takes your arm and like starts walking you through the gardens.
She strolls with him. What else? We had some dealings with quite a few children. And investigated the obelisk at Nightstone, not with any particular need to solve that mystery, just out of pure curiosity.
Oh, it's quite a thing, isn't it? I mean,
Yes,
that whole town is weird.
it is. It's a good place to pass through, but not one where I would stay.
No, definitely not. I think Alina went once to meet with Kiss and Bones there.
That doesn't surprise me. The one of the bartenders looked quite a bit like Alina.
Well, it does happen. My father and aunt were not from a good situation and probably have quite a few siblings running around that they either don't know about or aren't in contact with.
Yeah.
They were adopted by the church. So,
Gonna roll a quick die.
mhm.
Yeah, it will most likely be apparent to Uriel that Lenya drifted off somewhere in there and wasn't completely listening.
He doesn't seem to. He just nods.
Yeah. I did see Cass.
You did.
Yeah, she was at the tavern. That's called the tavern.
And she's doing well?
Yes.
That's good to hear. I know she's a favorite of my Aunt Ilia's.
Yeah. I like her, but um, not like that. Not like that.
That's fair. He kind of pats your arm.
She smiles up at him.
Good to hear, though.
Hmm.
So you're back in town, checking into the Caring Hand School. When are you free?
As early as tomorrow.
Well, if you would be so kind, I would like to pencil myself in on your schedule.
Please.
I did tell you about that place with the massages and the spa, and I do genuinely think it's the best way to wrap up a mission.
You did, and I'd like to try.
Fantastic. I'd be happy to bring you.
Please.
And we'll go tomorrow.
How do you feel about mornings? Are they disagreeable to you? Or are they? Oh, you do like sunrises, yes?
I do, yeah, left over from when I was a priest of the Dawn Father.
Yeah. I don't. I not. I get up when I do. Sometimes with the light. Sometimes later.
How about
I'd like to see a sunrise with you sometime. Maybe not tomorrow, but
11 and we can have a proper brunch?
very good. You'll come to the call. I'll meet you here, somewhere else.
I'll come to the call and meet you, and so I won't have to be in work mode.
That sounds good to me.
And we will have brunch and go to the spa.
Very good.
So, when do I lose you for your mission?
Oh, probably about what time? Are we still in about early afternoonish?
Yeah, you're probably coming up on noon itself.
I have a few hours, I think, before I need to go back. And I'll of course need to get dressed for the fancy event and but I think probably a few hours.
I know you're going to a fancy event, and I definitely understand if the answer is no, but I would not mind at all if I could stop by the call to see you dressed up for such fancy event. If that's alright with you.
Yes.
I'll see you off.
That can be arranged.
Wonderful. And then I'll just wait around the call and drink.
Yes, Alina taught us Blue Lagoons.
Oh, she
The one
did
with-
now.
The
That's...
the one with the clouds and the one without.
Yes. That's dangerous knowledge.
So now I know your favorite flower and one of your favorite drinks.
I feel like I am falling down on the job to not know such things about you.
Well, my favorite drinks tend to vary. I like. Oh my gosh, I'm a terrible pilot. I'm forgetting the name.
Was it amarettos? Because
Hot buttered rums are a favorite of mine this time of year.
oh, that's fantastic. It tastes like butterscotch.
And I've taken a liking to Amaretto, well, before, but especially since Aaliyah gave me that nickname.
That's seems on brand.
And many things with citrus in them, orange, lemon, um, and a little sweet, but not too sweet.
Good to know.
Um, as for flowers, I'm not sure I have a favorite. All those little wild flowers that dot the hillsides in the springtime. Don't know what they're called.
Like daisies and buttercups and the such.
I think, no, I think something different. Um, I'm gonna play around with this after the game
Okay.
and see if I can come up with a name because I can very clearly see like San Diego wildflowers, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just insert blank, fill in the blank there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't promise you those now, but I am digging up quite a few medicinal herbs if you want to join me.
Yes.
And I can
Well,
lend you a shirt or something so you don't get your clothes dirty. You're not dressed for garden work.
please. Yeah, I've these are clothes that are suitable for some work, but not specifically garden work.
Fantastic. Well,
Yep.
we'll go to my place then and get you changed out and then work in the garden a bit.
Sounds good to me.
And he'll escort you to his apartment, which you guys know is full of knickknacks, and he has his wall of trophies. But his trophies are things that he has gotten for healing people.
And they're not serial killer trophies.
Not serial killer trophies, but instead the trophies of, I can't pay you, but you saved my life, so I'm giving you this thing. So there's like some child drawings, and then there's like a couple of figurines, and a couple of like necklaces and things like that. Just, little things.
Oh, lavender. I like that.
Lavender's quite pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this shirt will work. It might dwarf you a little bit, but not much. And he'll hold up a shirt for you, and he will step out of the room for you.
Yeah, she examines it, changes, takes advantage of the privacy to change, and steps back out again.
Wonderful. So, let's go get muddy and terribly dirty and fill the apothecary.
Yes, and then clean back off again.
And then clean back up again. And he'll escort you back to the gardens.
Onwards.
Yeah, that's a date night for Uriel.
And Selenia.
Gardening.
Or
Oh, cute. Oh my god, I can't stand it.
The other OTP fades to black to have sex. This one fades to black in order to do medicinal things.
The garden.
it's nice, y'all. Everybody gets to enjoy their hobbies.
Both equally valid ways of fading to black.
The two genders.
The two genders. Sex and gardening.
Oh, they're so cute.
They're so cute.
Right.
Like I said,
I genuinely can't tell if Eliana, like, knows that this is a date,
I think she knows.
and I love it.
I think she knows. I think she's just
Aw.
trying really hard to be cool.
I mean,
Aw.
who among us?
I
Yeah.
mean, you don't need an insight check to know that Uriel doesn't care about, like, oh, this is our 4th or 5th or whatever dates. He's like,
Mhm.
I am just eager to spend time with you doing stuff. So
Aw.
if I can
Yeah.
carve out an hour or 2 of your time, then I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good boy.
And she'll take some of his time too, so
Fantastic. So we're coming up on 9:30, and I do admit that I'm very tired. Do we want to pick up next game, or do we want to try and press on? Because I know we have. Oh, go ahead.
Grim is pretty much squared away. I don't know if Corinne had anywhere else that she wanted to go to
Mhm.
info.
Yes.
Corinne was gonna potentially go check out the party site location, like during the setup process, to see if she could overhear any chatter there.
Mhm.
But I also don't know exactly like if that is like if it's literally inside the Hawkwinter estate, like that's a much less likely thing she would do, and probably would just like eavesdrop around the perimeter or something like that. But other than that, I think that's all she has.
Sure. So as you're haunting the gate, or not haunting the gate, but like kind of, just walking around the walls, super casual, you see Bones has actually posted up next to a wall. She spots you and just shakes her head. She's like, alright, you definitely won. But also, should we break into this place?
I thought about it. They are still having the party, but there's been some weird things going on, it sounds like.
And I think they wouldn't notice us that much if we were very stealthy, and I am exceptionally good at climbing.
You are exceptionally good at climbing. I think as long as we're keeping a low profile, I think, what's the harm? We just got a little lost. Oh, is this not the, this isn't my brother's estate. Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
We just pretend we've been day drinking and continue on.
Who's pretending?
I mean, fair. And you see Bones approach the wall, and it's not a sheer wall, but it would be a hard climb. But you notice that she does have rope with her, and you see that on the tips of her boots, she has little, not claws, but definitely like almost like she's got pythons on the front of her boots. Like there's like a little sharp piece of metal there. You notice that she uses that to climb versus any like cat-like abilities. But she very quickly gets over the wall and drops you a rope.
Corinne takes it and pulls herself up.
Yeah, easily over the wall, and you notice that she definitely had done some scouting and had picked like an area of the garden that wasn't getting a lot of attention at the moment. Like it's all set, it's all set, and they're going to move on to a different area. So she, gives you a nod.
Cool. So I will head. Obviously, we're going into stealth mode. But we'll head towards kind of where I'm assessing the like. Where do I see like where there's like a flock of servants like coming and going from one specific part of the manor?
Actually, roll me a perception check.
Okay. It's a 23.
Damn, good. You noticed that, but you also, and actually roll with advantage because Bones is also looking.
Okay. Still 23.
Still 23. Okay. You and Bones kind of both spot, not like a little out of the way and a little hidden, an area where there's a couple of at least a few servants like surreptitiously like drinking from a couple of bottles and maybe like smoking some cigarettes. So
delightful. I would like to creep up to that group and see what they might be talking perhaps a little less carefully about.
Yeah. And yeah, Bones is on the same wavelength as you both creep over. And yeah, there's a big guy, a bigger guy there that's kind of like dominating the conversation. Like he's got like a lit cigarette in his hand, but he's just talking with his hands so much that like the cigarette has been forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I mean, it's the damnedest thing. I swear to God, that guy was a ship captain. I swear. I swear to all the gods, even, that man was not a headmaster. I mean, he certainly seemed like a headmaster for a minute there, but when he went off the deep end, he knew way too much about the Dark Ward to be just, just weird and crazy. He takes a drag off his cigarette. And, one of a younger girl is like, "Oh, you're full of shit. He's just a crazy guy." And hopefully they replace him with a new headmaster at the school, and this will all be swept under the rug, like usual. Bit weird we're still having the party, but I imagine they'll just be like, "Oh, he's sick. Oh, he died of consumption." And, another male voice, a little squeakier, a little higher. Yeah, basically. Goes, you really think they make him disappear? And she kind of just, you hear the girl laugh and go, not disappear, not like the Assassins Guild disappear, but like, they'll probably just drop him off at the docks and just say, "Okay, you live at the docks now. Congratulations. You think you're a ship captain? You go be you." And then, replace the headmaster. Then there's some debate about disappearing people and whether or not disappeared people are disappeared, or disappeared people are killed, or disappeared people are moved to different areas, as the conversation shifts to different things.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think that's about as much as Corinne thinks they're reasonably going to get out of the help here. Just kind of like look to Bones, make eye contact, and then jerk her head back towards the wall.
Yeah, Bones gives you a nod, and she will creep with you back to the wall.
And scaling back over onto the other side.
Easy enough. Let's just roll stealth checks just to see if anyone rolls something stupid low. But nope, Bones is fine.
No, it's a 19.
Yeah.
Wait, was it? Yeah, 19.
Bones also got a 19. So, you guys are not like. You guys are kind of hidden anyway. And you just go over the wall, and like maybe like a worker notices you, but they aren't saying shit. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Who knows?
Rich people be rich people.
Rich people be rich people. Probably like industry spies stealing party secrets or something.
Yeah. And then I think from there, Corinne is content to head back to the call.
Mm-hmm. Bones will give you a nod. Okay, well, I guess I need to get ready for a party.
Certainly do. One quick note, in addition to what we overheard there, one of the younger Hawkwinters, Kieran, younger Kieran, apparently had some behavioral things going on recently that had mysteriously been fixed and then mysteriously unfixed very, very recently.
I wonder if she was a student of the school and a shining example of how well it works.
Yeah, apparently the headmaster they're speaking of was her tutor. I don't think it's the same person.
No, I don't think it's the ship captain.
No, I'd imagine that she's probably the original one who came over was the headmaster we encountered,
Mhm.
and then another headmaster was created conveniently to keep up the ruse.
That makes sense as they got more students and went more control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Indeed. Well, be on your guard. We will see you. Will you meet us back at the call or here?
I will meet you at the call, dressed for the nines and for a fancy party.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Excellent. We'll see you then.
See you then. And she disappears. She heads back towards her tower.
Yep. And then Corinne heads back to the call.
So Corinne heads back to the call, and everyone gets ready for a fancy party. I am gonna have to draw Bones' fancy party outfit, yes.
Yes.
So I'm gonna call it there tonight. I apologize for the early end, but like I said, my voice is still on the mend.
Totally fair.
And getting ready for the party seems like a good spot to leave you all because, there's some room for some side plays if you were interested in such a thing.
Hypothetically.
Otherwise, just hype over what outfit your characters are wearing is also acceptable.
I just realized I was muted the whole time that I was cheering about getting to see everyone's party outfits and party prep. But that happened. Can I assume that Grim would have gotten a short rest while chilling at the...
While chilling at the bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Supervising.
Yeah, they'd only use one spell slot. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right,
Hope
well...
your voice recovers.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's just, if I could just get, like, a few more days where I wasn't on the phone all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
we'll see, hopefully, maybe. Next week.
Did you
Fingers crossed.
Did you have your recording going tonight?
I did, yes.
Okay. Could you throw that link in the chat? I recorded,
happy
but
to.
my computer was being super slow, so I'm not confident that it's going to be a good recording.
Of course. I will throw
Awesome.
it into chat, and I do apologize if there's a lot of background noise at the beginning, because puppies and baby were both had a lot of opinions.
These things happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you all.